So today I want to talk to you guys about the characters that I personally feel like are some of the strongest characters in the game right now, and maybe just a little bit more powerful than they should be, honestly. The guys that you can take into ranked games, win those ranked games with, and help yourself actually climb pretty quickly up the ladder with, without, way too much hassle. These guys have some of the highest win rates, some of the highest play rates, and overall, you probably won't be angry if you see one of them on your team. With that said, let's get started. So with this pick, I'm betting you guys were probably thinking I was going to say one of the DPS or another DPS or whatever, but actually, I feel like Zenyatta is really good because so many people are actually thinking about DPS and playing DPS right now. It's definitely the most chosen role, and everybody wants to play it every single game, and that's where Zenyatta comes in. Zenyatta is a hyper enabler for these DPS right now, and if you're playing in the average competitive game where there's 2 to 3 DPS every single game, and you have a Zenyatta and the enemy team doesn't, that can be the difference between a win and a loss, especially in a lot of different small skirmishes. If you're playing Zenyatta and you put down your Discord orb on somebody, then your teammate can be worse than the enemy and they're still going to win. That's a thing that I feel like is very underutilized and something that I feel like a lot of people don't really think about with this character. He's a super good enabler for your teammates and can really help carry in that way. Right now, again, he has one of the highest win rates, one of the highest play rates, and overall I feel like he's a very fun character that you can go for that isn't, I guess, 100% necessary, but definitely a good pick to try to help yourself win. The reason why Zenyatta I feel like is stronger than the other two supports, that being Ana and Lucio, is because the speed boost, while useful in this meta, is a little bit more useful with people that are like diving tanks like Winston and Zarya and those other people that can't go way too fast because, flankers that go in with Lucio anyways are already pretty fast, so you don't really need that. And the anti-heal from Ana is really only good against tanks because oftentimes, again, the DPS can just run away before you can finish him off. So that's where Zenyatta comes in. He can actually get kills, he can deal damage, and in the frag fest that we have right now, you by yourself can actually often get a few picks and win teamfights by yourself. So that's why I personally feel like he's so good right now and a pick that's definitely worth your time picking up. So here we are to the section where I talk about the picks that I bet you guys were all suspecting with. Yeah, Junkrat. He's so good right now. He supplies a ton of AoE damage, a ton of burst, can 1v1 almost any of the other DPS in the entire game, can take out people in the backline. His ultimate is essentially a free kill or a free team wipe, depending on how you're playing with it. And he has a free escape because you can just double mine and get out of necessarily anything. There's so much that's good about Junkrat right now, just with his few small, but actually turned out to be very big changes. I feel like the thing that's kind of really so great about Junkrat as well right now is that, again, there's a lot of DPS, and while at first glance you might think, maybe he can't do that well against DPS, you can't exactly spam against them like a Ryan Shield or something, you can often force the DPS to not go around corners, to not go around choke points, and to give your team the advantage in that way. Because if they do walk around that corner without a tank, they're gonna die if you're playing Junkrat. It's just as simple as that, and it's something that you might want to keep in mind when you think about the power of this character. As well with this, you still can play with a dive comp, you can play with a slow push comp, you can play with really anything with Junkrat. You can play at close range to just try to get a lot of mines and get your damage, while that's very unsafe, or you can play at more medium to far range, maybe not get as much consistent damage, but still get a lot of nice spammy damage out there, and maybe try to get a pick. I guess one of the only problems about Junkrat in this meta is that it's kind of hard for you to kill Mercy, but other than that, I feel like you generally can just mop the floor with most characters. And yeah, finally, Mercy. She's just so good right now that it's actually dumb. It makes the other supports, by comparison, not playable, and if you didn't have to go 2 supports, and if you could just like stack 2 Mercies, I think every single team would, if they possibly could. Mercy just supplies so much pressure. If one of your teammates goes down in a 1-for-1, you get that res, you're up 6v5, and you win the team fight. So what happens? Well, the enemy team also goes to Mercy, because if they don't have it, they've essentially lost that team fight. As I was saying earlier, while the other supports can still do stuff, like Lucio and Ana do have a little bit they can do, it doesn't really synergize way too much with the meta, and Zen is often just going to be chosen as the other healer that's working pretty well with you. But with Mercy, it's just so good. Even if you don't really count her res, which is definitely the most broken part about her kit, you have the ultimate, which gives you another res, which is just amazing. But as well with that, you can heal your entire team 60 HP per second, so if the enemy team doesn't have a lot of burst, they can't kill your team. As well, you get healed yourself, so unless the enemy team has a nano visor, or unless they have a deadeye or something, you're almost never gonna die in an open map. And you can just damage boost everybody on your team for essentially the damage of a Orisa ult. But then you can also go back to healing people when they get to low HP and go back and forth. And you can fly, and you can escape from almost any situation with your flying, and of course with your Guardian Angel. There's just so much going on for Mercy right now, and there's not that much that can counter her right now. If you're a God Widow, you'd think that you could always counter her, but even people like Kefri, while they're doing good against her, it's just not 100% a counter because she can still just kind of hide around walls. When you put this all together, she's a super good character. That's obviously the best in the game right now, and is a must pick every single game, no matter the map, no matter the situation. She's almost always 95% of the time a must pick. But then when you add to that Pharah, who I feel like is also a broken character in this meta right now, especially at the lower ranks, it becomes even better. Once you're at the top ranks, you know, Pharah can be countered somewhat against, you know, McCree, against Soldier, everybody with super good aim. It can kind of happen against you again, Widowmaker, you know, it can be a problem with you. But if people don't have godlike aim and can take you out immediately, you just rain terror on the enemy team. And even if they do have really good aim, if you as Pharah can get in close, you know, use your concussive blast to get in there, pick 1-for-1, and then the Mercy reses you and the enemy team has no more hit scan, well, you could just go off the enemy backline, the enemy front line, and you've won that fight as well. This tag team together just supplies so much damage, healing, mobility, pick potential, really everything. And even if you could just have one or the other, I feel like it's super strong. But definitely Mercy, probably the best character in the game right now, and Pharah with a Mercy, really strong as well. But anyways, as always, those are just my own personal opinions, and if you feel like any certain character is pretty overpowered this patch that I didn't talk about, please do leave them in the comment section down below, because I'm only talking about 3 today, so I can't talk about them all. Or I guess technically 4, because I kind of cheated with the last one. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you want me to talk about in the next video, or press the subscribe button if you do want to see any more like this in the future. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day. I'd like to thank Gilded.gg for sponsoring this video and mainly helping me a lot through the adpocalypse. So, Gilded itself is a website focused on finding, founding, and expanding your gaming team with relative ease. You can schedule events, recruit new members, build team comps, and find teams to scrim with and to scrim against. Best of all to you guys, it's free. You can get started yourself with the link in the description below, and if you sign up by November 10th, you'll be entered into a chance to win a $50 Blizzard gift card. So maybe I'll see you there.